Hey guys, it's Galaxy and welcome to the camera comparison between the brand new Apple iPhone 12 and the old good Samsung Galaxy S10. Okay, maybe the Samsung Galaxy S10 is only one generation older, but its current price makes this comparison extremely interesting. I feel it may perform just fine against the newer and more expensive iPhone 12, but without further ado, let's see. So in this scene we can notice that the Samsung Galaxy S10 provides warmer color tones, whereas the iPhone looks to be more on the cooler side. Apart from that, they look very similar, although I think the sun reflection was handled a bit better by the iPhone. Interestingly, the same scene shot in the ultra-wide angle mode appears to have different colors on both, but still with the same overall difference in the color tones. Here I definitely prefer more natural looking photo from the iPhone, even though they are pretty close. Again, the difference is not huge, the HDR looks to be about the same on both, a bit more saturation on the Samsung Galaxy S10. Though once again the sun reflection looks more pleasing on the iPhone, which is also the same for the ultra-wide angle mode. In my previous comparisons, I often talked about how powerful the HDR mode is on the Samsung Galaxy S10. In fact, it turned out to be stronger than in the newest Galaxy S20. In this case, looking at the reflection on the road, iPhone, also known for its strong HDR, provides a bit calmer result. So I guess it's a matter of preference, but maybe something in the middle between the two would be ideal. To me, Samsung looks a bit too artificial, iPhone a bit too cold, but maybe that's me nitpicking. It's also worth mentioning that Samsung has wider focal length in the ultra-wide angle mode, by about 3 degrees. Not that I see any major advantage really. However, I do see a noticeable difference in the colors. Here I think the sky in the iPhone looks a tad more lively and pleasing to look at. Samsung is no slouch either, despite being slightly dull in the sky, the ground area looks a bit more natural, although with the extra amount of saturation added. The difference is even bigger over here. I definitely prefer the iPhone's picture. The grass on the Samsung looks too yellowish, and looking at the sky it also looks like HDR is not as reliable as in the other phone. And this is quite a good test of the color accuracy. In reality, this BMW's paint is really dark. It's actually originally called Schwarz 2, which in translation from German means black 2. So there are no additional color tones and it's also not some sapphire variety. Although it can make this impression looking at the S10's picture. It looks like there are just some scenarios that shows the iPhone's advantage in the color accuracy and overall reliability. For the sake of this comparison, we will also compare the zoom on both. Of course, keep in mind the iPhone 12 doesn't have telephoto module, for that you would need to buy the 12 Pro. So today we'll look at the 2x digital zoom versus the 2x optical zoom found on the Samsung Galaxy S10. So let's go! I can already see more details, more texture and much nicer depth of field from the S10's native telephoto module. Going into the crop, I think you see for yourself, nothing is like the dedicated telephoto module. And once more, yeah, if you need those zoom abilities, choosing between the two, the Galaxy S10 wins hands down, no reason to check that further. Moving to some macros, you need to know that the Galaxy S10 has a thing called dual aperture. Basically it means it will either use f2.4 or f1.5. Speaking from experience, in auto mode it mostly uses the f2.4. The lower one is used for low light conditions. That is the reason why in this daylight picture the iPhone was able to provide with more shallow depth of field. But when I switch to f1.5 manually in the Pro mode on the S10, you can notice it's exactly the opposite. Anyway, let's use the auto mode, starting with the first picture of this tree. Both look really sharp, and going into the crop I am not able to see any difference in the level of detail. In this picture I can notice a bit more information in the highlights from the iPhone. As I said before, it looks like HDR in iPhone is just a tad more reliable than in the Samsung. No major difference related to the amount of detail in the crop, just more area is in focus on the S10 thanks to the bigger f2.4 aperture. In this one you can clearly see that familiar Samsung over-sharpened look, although it is made with a taste nowadays. Before the introduction of, I believe, the Galaxy S9, over-sharpening was done rather poorly, but now this kind of look and sharpness variety between the two is more than welcome for me. Apart from that, the level of detail stays exactly the same. But man, the colors of the sky, you have to give it to the iPhone. They really push it to the limit. Colors of the skin, okay, maybe not so much, but I still think both pictures are very nice to look at. In the magnification, again more sharpening in the Samsung, just look at how it exposed all of those little dust particles on the ski fob. But if you look carefully at the background, there seem to be more artifacts related to the noise processing on the S10. Perhaps the iPhone 12 has superior noise reduction algorithms? I will discuss it more with the low-light pictures. Now let's check out the video quality. When it comes to the video quality, both are really good, but the iPhone has some edge over the Samsung in my opinion. First of all, the stabilization is more smoothed out, especially looking at those stronger shakes. The advantage is present both in the standard and in the ultra-wide-angle mode. Second, the dynamic range looks to be noticeably better compared to the Samsung, just look at how both handled the sun in front of them. There are just more things visible in the highlights and shadows in the iPhone's footage. Just like with the pictures, the level of detail is about the same on both. Once again, the only difference is that the Samsung uses a tad more sharpening, which some of you simply may or may not like. Personally, I would lean slightly towards the iPhone. Moving to some low-light pictures, the iPhone 12 provided a little bit more natural looking image. I don't know why the S10's picture has that kind of vignette going on in the center of this box, but I'm guessing it's something related to the HDR. Anyway, there is no big difference in the crop, although if I had to choose I would go with the iPhone 12 because looks like the S10 has a bit worse noise reduction with apparently more visible chroma noise. The color accuracy in low-light scenarios also seems a tad better on the iPhone, and checking in the noise, despite the Samsung is a little bit sharper here, it looks like there are fewer artifacts and more smooth edges and overall better noise reduction on the iPhone. The funny thing is, in opposite to the daytime picture, the iPhone 12 provides warmer color tones in those kind of low-light scenes. Here I prefer the iPhone's picture, I think it looks slightly more defined and alive. Although sometimes the S10's pictures are a little more color neutral and closer to the reality, but that's until we use the dedicated night mode. You see, the iPhone is tad more convenient because it automatically shoots in night mode when it's needed, whereas in the Samsung you always have to select this mode on your own. And there is just something artificial going on with the colors sometimes. In this case that extra post-processing actually looks pretty dope, but moving to the next picture, I don't know, there is just too much vibrancy and purple colors in those leaves. And at the same time the other part of the scene looks kind of washed out. But on the other hand, the S10 can definitely see much more with its ultra-wide-angle lens, funny enough both with and without the use of night mode. In standard wide-angle mode both look close, maybe the S10 is a bit brighter though, but I wonder how would they compare to something better like Google Pixel 5 or Huawei P40, well known for their advanced low-light abilities. In conclusion, I think the iPhone is objectively better when it comes to the video recording and maybe in general reliability and color accuracy. Overall, I feel both are extremely comparable and which one is better is often based on personal preference. Given the current price of the Galaxy S10, I think it deserves a solid recommendation. It's much better value for money than the iPhone in my opinion. Having said that, I would still slightly lean towards the iPhone, mostly because of that video quality advantage. But let me know which one you think is better in the comments. Consider watching my other videos and subscribe to see more content like this. Thank you so much for watching and see you in the next one. Peace.